All right, moving on to the NFL, and we'd like to present our first ever Cole Beasley segment. Cole Beasley releasing a tweet via social media, something he typed up, it looks like in the Notes app of his iPhone, in regards to his position on the COVID vaccine and why he's not taking it. Pretty strong opinion he's laying out there, and obviously there was a whole bunch of backlash that he received. You know, some people think he's anti-vaccine and all the rest of that. But we'll just get into what we think of it. Drink, what do you think of his comments? And you know, yeah, that's the question. What do you think of what he had to say?
Well, first off, let me start off by saying this. I think anyone's choice of getting a vaccine, whether it's an athlete, private citizen, a government official, et cetera, don't let that get too far ahead of you. I think anyone's decision to getting the vaccine is their personal decision. Like you made a point earlier, since when do medical decisions become so public? Like I thought it was a such thing as the HIPAA. I thought it was we have these processes in play to where I can make my medical decision in a private manner, and you can't go off and run off at the mouth just because you're a medical professional about my decision. However, as you brought to my attention, it seems to be quite the opposite now that COVID has hit. Now everybody's medical decision is public record, and if you don't want to make it public record, you will get treated differently. Um, with that said, I'm Cole Beasley's decision. He's 100% right about what he said. His decision is his decision, and I respect that. Like me and you, for example, we have different views on the vaccine. And your view is your view, my view is my view. I don't get here and hold any ill will towards you because you want to make a decision about your body and this vaccine. Just like I don't believe you will have any ill will against me about me getting the vaccine because it's my body and it's my decision. Well, the thing about this vaccine that's so crazy is this. Um, Cole Beasley, if you don't want to get the vaccine, that's your choice. I don't care that you don't want to get it. Where I have a problem and where I get off the bus is when you make it everybody's else, like you bring it to their attention that you don't want to get it and why you don't want to get it. And don't get me wrong, his explanation was well crafted. I liked it. And he said something specifically in that explanation that I really agree with when he said, hey, trust and believe I'm not the only player that came to this conclusion. But because of where I'm at in my career and where they're at in their career, they might not come out and say it publicly. And that's the truth with the gravy on it. That's usually the truth with a lot of stuff. When we're talking about players' pay, when we're talking about the health insurance, when we're talking about a whole bunch of things where the NFL uses the masses to suppress those lower end guys because they don't get paid enough to talk that talk. You know, they're trying to get to the position to talk that talk. So I do commend Cole Beasley for saying that, but at the end of the day, when you put something like this out, like Cole Beasley, of course you're going to get backlash. And now, if he were to retire or don't play another game, this is all we're going to be talking about. Did he get forced out because of what he said? Did he get forced out because he didn't want to take the vaccination? What really happened? This is why I'm not a big supporter of players coming out and just talking like this, because now it creates a distraction. Now the Buffalo Bills offseason is going to be about what Cole Beasley said, and then when the season starts, it's still going to be about what Cole Beasley said. Now they're going to have a microphone in Josh Allen's face and then Stephon Diggs' face saying, how do y'all feel about playing with a player that openly said he's not going to take the vaccine? That is why I don't like this. That's why I don't like that Cole Beasley did that. Because instead of it being about your success as NFC title contenders, it's about to be about your success of who got the vaccine on the Buffalo Bills and who don't. That's what it's going to be about. So I disagree with his method of delivery, but I agree with what he said in the delivery. But you got to understand, man, the NFL is a team game, man. So when you go out and you do something like that, the whole team is about to feel the fire. How you think? I bet you, as we're talking right now, Sean McDermott has probably answered 45 questions about this COVID vaccine. And he didn't say one word about it. He didn't say anything about this. But because Cole Beasley did, guess what? Hey, Sean, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's going to affect the rest of your team? How do you feel? Do you have the vaccine? What's your opinion of the vaccine? All this extra attention that's about to come to the Buffalo Bills because of what Cole Beasley said. That's why I don't agree with it. But I think the vaccine is a personal choice. It really is. Why do I have to tell you if I want to? Well, let me backtrack. Why do I have to tell you how I truly feel about it? Either I want the vaccine or I don't. And if I don't want it, okay, here's why I don't want it. If I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. Every grown man or woman should be able to answer that question for themselves, right? Now, we're talking about kids and older people, totally different situation. I got it. But for these NFL players, for entertainers, for media, for public figures, etc., etc., can we stop trying to force people to doing something they don't want to do? If they want to wear a mask, let them wear a mask. If they want to get vaccinated, let them get vaccinated. If they don't want to get vaccinated, leave them the hell alone. You know why? Because at the end of the day, for example, Jay, you have your house. Let's say you're anti-vaccination. Not saying you are, but let's say you're, for the example of this conversation, you're anti-vaccination. And you want to hold an event at your house. Whatever the governor, whatever the max limit the governor to put, if he still have a max limit of indoor gatherings. If you want to have that gathering without one mask, you can do that. That's your choice.
Damn right.
Damn right. And I agree. Damn right. That's your choice. But however, on the same token, let's say you said, hey, I'm having this gathering. I don't care if you're vaccinated or not, you will wear a mask. That's also your choice. That's also your choice.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if a business say, and the NFL is a business, if they say, hey, we're going to treat the vaccinated this way and we're going to treat the unvaccinated this way, it's their business to treat it in a kind of way they want to. If you don't like it as a player, you can always retire. You can always quit. You can always go find something else to do. Because it's the same thing to me. Some of these players want to be able to have their freedom to say whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do, but they want to still get paid like what they're saying and doing is not affecting people. No, it is. If you don't like the way someone is handling themselves, or you don't like the way the business is handling themselves, you don't have to be in that business. NBA players don't have to play in the NBA. They truly don't. If they don't like the way the NBA is handling, you can go overseas. Would you make the money that you make in the NBA? No. But it's a price that comes with making that money. You got to follow some type of rule and regulation. And if I work for the U.S. government, they pay me what they pay me. If they want me to do something a certain way, I can quit. They ain't making me stay there. I can easily put in my 2 weeks and chuck the deuces. However, whatever it is I'm going to do, I gotta suffer that consequence or that benefit as it's taken. So it's my decision if I'm gonna let Uncle Sam tell me what to do or not tell me what to do. It's my decision. We have to stop making it to where, oh, you don't want to get vaccinated. Oh, yeah, stay over there. Yeah, you got that stuff. I don't want to deal with you. Why? You know how many hands I done probably shook that's not vaccinated? By the way, I am vaccinated. I throw that out there. I am vaccinated. But you know how many hands I done shook that's not unvaccinated? It's so many people come to me, hey, I just want to let you know, I don't believe in that vaccination. I think it's a hoax. All right, cool. We're moving on. I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, bro, that's some BS right there. Oh, that's what's wrong with America.
Yeah, let's start a war over that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, bro. I got the vaccine for me, for my purpose. But even in my house, I got vaccinated because there's certain stuff I want to do, and I don't want to be held back because I'm unvaccinated. My wife is on the other she's on the other end of the spectrum. She don't want to get the vaccine, and she done gave me very valid reasons of why not. And guess what? I support that. I support that decision just as much as I supported my decision of getting the vaccine. Why? Because it's an individual decision. I'm not gonna force my wife to go get something because I did. She's not gonna force me to go get something because she wanted. It is what it is, and I think the faster we realize that as a country, the faster we can get over all this. Cause I sure don't see people at CVS saying, "Hey, did you get your flu shot? Come on here. Let me see your arm and make sure you got that flu shot." Oh, you ain't get the flu shot. You can't come up in here. Oh, nah, you didn't get it. But yet and still, this is what we're doing for COVID-19. So to wrap that up, man, listen, like I said, Cole Beasley's message, 100%. But him delivering that message in the way he did, I just feel like it affects a lot more people than just him. It's going to affect a lot of players across the NFL. It's going to affect a lot of players on this team. And I kind of look at that as a mostly selfish move just because you have to think about the other people that now we're going to... I'm going to be honest with you. This comment could derail the Buffalo Bills championship aspirations this year. Watch what I'm going to tell you why. Because you make that face. You make that face, right? But when their whole season becomes about COVID instead of a championship run, watch what I tell you. I'm going to tell you to roll this footage back. And I'm going to say, what did I tell you? What their whole season was wrapped around what? What did I tell you? And then you going to be like, oh, well, nah, I'm telling you, this is how it works. That's why I'm not a big fan of him making these comments. The floor is yours. Let me hear what you got.
if the Buffalo Bills don't win the Super Bowl.
No. Well, I'm saying if they don't focus, like this is going to be a major distraction to that because this is what it's Buffalo, first of all. You remember this. This is Buffalo, New York. This is not New York. Something this small in Buffalo is going to be this big because it's Buffalo. So act like you don't know these geographics if you want to. Watch what I tell you.
I think if he played for the Jets or the Giants, maybe that'd be a bigger deal. Okay. But I can't, man. I find it to be a bit of a reach. If Cole Beasley's medical choices hold him back, I think there's other stuff going on that's got to be reason about 900 that'll.
But I think because the way you're warding it down. I'm not talking about the physical talent of the players. I'm talking about where all their attention should be is not going to be where it needs to be. Is what I'm saying. It's just like we talk about this on the show all the time, right? Instead of us focusing on what we should be focusing on with the Knicks, we're talking about.
Okay?
You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Spike Lee not being able to use a private elevator.
And I'm guessing what you're getting at that's going to be a media driven point. Like you're concerned about how the media will. And I guess what I would say in response, like if I'm getting questions about that, I'm not answering them. If I'm Sean McDermott, I'm the players, I'm gonna look at the media and be like, will y'all ask a serious question, please? Y'all got any football questions today? We're not talking about people's medical decisions and statements they made on that. That's how I would handle that. We got more important things to do than worry about one person's medical choice. But to the point you open with, which I think is one of the most important points, I really do not like how people's medical decisions it's such a common practice to speak about them. Last year, nobody's going to come up to you and be like, hey man, you get that anthrax vaccine, or just, plug and play whatever vaccine it is. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's coming up to you. Hey, you get the flu shot this year? What are you talking? No. Yes, I did. But no, I didn't. Like, we're not doing that. And now since COVID has been a thing, now we got the vaccines, everything's all cool. Now it's just it's like we've normalized talking about these things and talking about people's medical decisions and all that. And I just think it's a shame. And I think it's an example of the continued erosion of people's privacy and civil liberties, so to speak. And I think that's much like what we talked about on Wednesday with Charles Barkley and his concern. This is another example of another thing I think we should be concerned about. Um, much, I'm not anti-vaccine. Lord knows I've had plenty of them, and I know you'll appreciate this. In our line of work, we pretty much have to get what they get. I don't remember going to Paris Island and being in the shot line and them asking, "Hey, would you like this one?" No, I'd like to skip this one. No, they just you go on through the assembly line and you get jab, 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 jab. This is where I'm at this is where I'm at in terms of this vaccine, which I have not received. And it's very simple. I never got a choice on what I got stuck with. Now they're saying, okay, look, we have this vaccine out here. It is approved under the emergency authorization, blah, blah, blah. So we cannot mandate or order you to get this vaccine. And so I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, so it's optional. Well, I'm going to opt out for right now. And I fully intend, based on a career path, I fully expect to, I would say there's like a 90% chance that I'll get the vaccine at some point. So I got no problem with that. But I do have questions about the vaccine. And I think based on, some of the, things I've read and all the rest and heard and listened to about, professional people talking about it, the first and foremost question is, these vaccines, it would appear to me, they've been approved for 6+ months now. I'd like to know why they're not officially approved. Where that official stamp from the FDA saying like they are not under emergency authorization. We actually, we've looked at it. We've looked at the data. We've done every trial under the sun. We feel like we're comfortable saying, okay, emergency authorization, throw it out the window. And at that point, when that goes away, in our line of work, in your previous line of work, my current line of work, they'll be mandatory, just like everything else. That's what we'll have. So I have no problem with that. And I have told people that from the beginning. I was like, you want me to get this? How about making it mandatory? Because you know how it is, similar to like, oh yeah, we got this Friday,
right? That mandatory fund.
Yeah, that mandatory fund, but it's not mandatory. It's optional, right. But like, we highly encourage it. Get out of here with that crap. And it's a similar thing. And I think, but I also think there's a large section of the population who, they got all these little many incentives for people to get to take the shot. And I think one of the biggest ones is, and you mentioned it earlier, talking about the masking issue. You don't want to wear a mask. I damn sure don't want to wear a mask either. And I don't very often. But I think people look at that and they say, man, I guess if it allows me to show my face in public life again, I'll go ahead and get the vaccine. And my response to that is, I don't think I should have to inject myself with something that has not been officially approved to show my face around here. And I think, the things I've seen in regards to the virus, and this is something like we've been looking at for over a year now, well over a year. And I think I don't think there's been a lot of things that have changed from the start. It would seem to me that we know this is a virus that affects a certain part of the population, older people, people with comorbidities, people with underlying conditions. Those people are at a huge risk for, a much higher risk of having a severe outcome and dying from this virus. But they're, the younger people you at my age, your age, and kids, they're not, it's a minuscule risk that I think as a society we should be comfortable with, and we should not like some of these lockdowns and some of these other things that we did to ourselves, and we just wrecked our economy and all these other. And you talk about businesses, the just countless amounts of small businesses that got thrown down the tubes, that just could not survive. I think, people just, we gotta have smarter people in positions of power that can balance all these things. The thing about leadership is it's not, you just don't look at one factor of life and say, okay, we're applying every decision we make is now based on public health and solely on public health. You have to be able to look at like every other factor in life, such as the economy and people's jobs and the unemployment rate, and say, well, how can we balance this to make the best decision so we as a society can survive? And I think, and I got real questions about how, did we, I don't think we, I think we made some poor decisions on that, and definitely in some certain states. You compare, Florida to New York, for example. I think Florida did a little bit better. And I also think, based on certain studies I think that have been done, I don't think when you look at the things Florida did versus the things New York did, we know New York was a much more restrictive state. They were definitely had more they locked down longer. Florida kind of, after a while, they said, all right, let's just go back and do what we do. I don't think the numbers differ all that much. They certainly do not show that the lockdowns saved more lives. I don't think they did. And to that point, and just to get back to the mask issue, there are studies. People act like that these masks, like it's a foregone conclusion that like you wear a mask, yeah, that's gonna have a significant effect, and it's gonna no mask versus mask. Like, oh, if you don't wear one, you're definitely gonna be transmitting it all over the place. And if you don't wear one, it's safe and everybody's good. There's studies out there that similar to the lockdown question. I don't think masks make all that much of a difference. And this old people walking outside by themselves, ain't nobody in with a mile radius. They still got the mask on. Who you worried about infecting? The damn squirrel over here? What is happening? It's just they say. I know you've heard this phrase, and I'm so sick of it. You got to follow the science. What science is that? Please show it to me. And I'd like to say, you got all these clowns who come in here and they just got they think they're the smartest people on earth with their little Twitter responses. Here's one from Warren Ludford. He's a faceless Twitter user with a Viking logo. We all want to live our lives the way we want, but there are social contracts we enter into as a member of society. We agree to abide by the laws of our country. Yeah, right. We help our community because we care. We get vaccinated to help prevent people from dying from preventable disease. Who passed a law on any of this? Show me the laws that Congress has passed based on, everything that we've done is based on guidelines, and recommendations with these masks, with these lockdowns, with this 2 weeks to slow the spread that just, evolved into 15 months to flatten the economy. That's what's happened. And I'd like to, we know the answer to this. Who the hell elected anybody to the CDC? Which has been they've just flip-flopped on every issue under the sun. I don't have no confidence in Dr. Anthony Fauci. I don't have much confidence in any of them. They flip-flop on everything. At first they say don't wear a mask, then they say wear one, then they say wear two. It's a racket. Some of this is an absolute racket. The virus has ravaged a lot of people's lives, it's killed a lot of people, but they never talk about how many people who have recovered from it and have natural immunity and don't need the vaccine. I think a lot of this, and the simple fact is, Cole Beasley made valid points on what he's saying. I do get where you're coming from as far as it's going to be a distraction to a point. I think, in a couple of weeks, a month, I think it won't be an issue anymore. But it is good to hear people have a different opinion, because it's a dangerous world and a dangerous place where you're going when you cannot have a dissenting opinion and question the consensus, which really isn't a consensus, because there are differing opinions out here on the vaccine, on all the things that we did to try to protect the most vulnerable and just protect everybody, which part of that is just stay in your home and don't go nowhere, because if you do go somewhere, you better cover your face or you're going to kill somebody. Some of this is just, and now you talk about follow the science, and now the CDC, they lifts a bunch of the restrictions, and then you have, certain states that just say, no, keep wearing your mask, keep covering your face. Well, I thought we were following the science. I don't understand it. Some of this stuff is just beyond me. And I think the ending point where I begin and end is, if you're telling me that I have to take a vaccine to show my face around, that this ain't a free country no more. That's what I believe.